Hola. I'm coming in a few minutes early because I want to give YouTube the chance to let everybody know that we are here. Give Facebook a chance to tell the people that we are here. That we're here and we're ready to do some stock stuff this Sunday evening, live at 5 or live at 4:57. Anyway, we're here, ready to see what we can do. Yes, yes. If you just showing up, you know we've got the small account challenge starting this evening. Hopefully you've already signed up and you're all ready to go. If not, you need to head over to the website and get yourself registered for the small account challenge. Live on YouTube. At youtube.com/at. There we go. Live. Can't be singing the songs because sing too many songs, you end up with an issue on here. And we're not trying to have any issues on YouTube. Pass the word to the people who you're friends with. Say, friend, Arlissa is live. Need to come and see what she's talking about. What is she talking about? Pass the word. Bill says, I'm brand new here. Love the channel. Love your style. Well, thank you. Welcome, Bill. Welcome. Say thanks for making leaving a comment. Thanks for joining us. We so appreciate it round here. Yes, we do. We're an up and coming channel. I'm just here trying to do me. Trying to help the people, including myself, because I learned stuff too. We just finished up. Oh my goodness, we just finished the Chart Your Way to 100K. We finished the 4 weeks of that. Actually, ended up being 5 weeks because I had to skip a week because of my own situations. But we ended up finishing that yesterday, and my, the Chart Your Way to 100K included all the stuff that you need, the basics to get your foundational stuff for charting. It included indicators. It included using strategies, like which strategies for which things to chart, and technical analysis for specific strategies. Every week we left with some trade ideas. I'd like to believe everyone who was there gained some value. I know I did. I was able to learn some more stuff about some indicators. You have a general idea of something, which I did, but then I started, when you get ready to teach it, you need to know a little bit more than a general idea. So I learned some more about Bollinger Bands and MACD, the MACD D, and RSIs and volume. We learned about all those things in our 4 to 5 weeks there. And I believe it was fruitful. And so now, on the heels of that, we're getting ready to do the small account challenge. That starts today. Actually, we start trading it tomorrow, but we're having the kickoff meeting after this live call. We're then going to do our, I keep wanting to mix them up. My brain keeps saying chart your way to 100K because I've been talking about that for a couple of months. But now, changing gears, whoop, whoop, whoop. Small account challenge. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing next, is a small account challenge. Hope you'll join us. Okay, my lights are on in here. It feels like I'm dark. I feel like I'm dark, maybe because of that light. I'm not sure let me see if I turn on another light, if that'll matter. Did that do anything? Let me see. I'm looking here. Oh, I gave a little bit more light. I got some other bright lights, but the bright lights will also make it hot. It's getting hot in here. It'll get hot in here. I don't think y'all want me to be, doing the rest of the song. So let's not. Let's just not. Okay, so we're here. We're a couple minutes past 5. Maybe give it a couple more minutes. Did everybody see? Oh my goodness, all the stuff that happened last week in the market. We had lots of upwards mobility in the market last week. Let me see if I can get us to a bigger, we're bigger in the screen. There we go. That'll be a little bit bigger. Let's look at what some stocks did last week. We had some earnings. Last week was big time earnings. It wasn't, but a couple weeks ago, I was talking about Nvidia, and it was coming up to 500, and it kind of hit 500, and then it bounced. It hit 500 and came back down, and the next thing we know, Nvidia is now at 600, almost. It's 661. It didn't waste no time. Nvidia just said, I'm moving on. This is what Nvidia did. And this is the dailies from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We actually could turn it to the weekly chart and see what did the week look like. This big candle here was last week. And for the last 4 weeks, you see that Molten Gator been moving. Hey, Miss Deborah. Moving. That's Nvidia, right? Another one that falls in the category with Nvidia is AMD. AMD, this is the weekly chart, by the way. Now, AMD didn't have the same run that Nvidia had last week, but they do seem to run together, right? They had a long wick, though. This long wick, for those for my candlestick people, may be an indication that there's some more upwards movement that's going on. Y'all see some stuff I have on the chart. Buyers and sellers gap is there, and with some credit spreads, just some ideas that were there from previous weeks, right? What else did we did had a big jump last week? Didn't Netflix have a big old move? Maybe that was week before last for its earnings. This was Netflix. Why did I think Netflix was this past week? I don't know why I thought that. We had some folks who had big movements. Let me say, I think Tesla was the other direction. This was Tesla the week of January 22nd, which was a week, 2 weeks ago, or a week ago, week before last, a week, or whatever. This was last week. It's just kind of sitting and holding on. Hey, Adrian. Hey, Patrick. Hey, Lisa. Good afternoon and good evening. They told us that we had a tornado warning up here until 5 o'clock. It's after 5, and I didn't hear much wind blowing, so I was just like, okay, well, let's go see what SPX did. The S&P 500. This is the weekly chart we're looking at. So this candle here was last week's candle. Again, for the past 4 weeks, it's been moving. It's been moving up for more than 4 weeks. It just took a little breather the first week of January, and then it just pulled back just a taste, and then went on up some more. These are weekly. It's been going up really from October, the week of October the 30th. It's been going up ever since then. Is there higher? Are we going higher? I think the song is Power, but I just will sing the stuff as I hear it. But is it going higher? Is SPX going higher? Anybody in the chat got an idea? Maybe make a comment. What you think about whether SPX has some more room? Does SPX have more room? I'm going to go back here and see if I can see some resistance up here, because sometimes when there's no resistance, it's free to run. Hey, Sonia. Hey, Karen. Hey, Lady T. Hey, Marcia. I think you're Marcia Dawson. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Usually it's morning when I'm on here live with everybody. I don't see any resistance up here. Does anybody else see some? Could we be going higher? It very well could be. Very well could be. If we look at this is the MACD. The MACD, we've got our moving averages here are wide open, going upwards. They're not even trying to cross. And the strength in the histograms are here. Now, what is interesting is the RSI does show that it is overbought. It's overbought. It's just popped out, this little peak above the line. It's just popped out of there. So overbought could be an indication that it would like to, start selling. But the other things aren't confirming that. Our moving averages don't confirm that. It's not at the top of the Bollinger Band. It's got some room. It's got a little bit of room. Now, of course, just know, and I know y'all already know this, the market will do what the market wants to do. Our job is just to trade what we see. Our job is to trade what we see every single day. Now, I've got people in my community who trade every single day, who trade, 0 DTEs. And we trade. That's our motto. That's our motto in there. Trade what you see. Not what you hope to see. Trade what you see. I'm trying to think if at this point, you can put the resistance here, but you can't really base it on anything because there's nothing up here. You can put the resistance at the top of the Bollinger Band. That's probably better and safer, but you really can't. It's actually is a buyer's gap. You really can't put a resistance up there because you don't know where it is. We don't know where it is. There's a buyer's gap right here between the top of this candle, which is 49.06, and the open of this one, which is 49.16. So there's a $10 buyer's gap between 49.06 and 49.16. We're pretty high above, but it did hit the top of the Bollinger Band and then close a little bit lower. Aye. Good afternoon, Sizzling. All righty. Okay, let's see what we got coming for the week. The Walt Disney World. I'm on Yahoo Finance. Earnings to test market rally. What to know this week. More than 100 S&P 500 companies will report earnings this week as investors seek hints on the overall health of corporate America. So that's a piece of important information. I was just showing you the SPX. And if now we have 100 companies of the S&P 500, that's 20% of them are going to report this week. There could be some, repercussions, consequences and repercussions as a result of all those people doing earnings. All right. Retail employees working fewer hours could be a risk to somebody or other. The Grammys confront the music industry's biggest challenge, AI. AI is going to be everybody's biggest challenge. U.S. government backs food as medicine movement. They should have been doing that, food as medicine, but I won't hop on to the box. Royal Caribbean is sailing smoothly into 2024, the CFO outlines. For those who are in the chat, y'all like Royal Caribbean or you like Carnival better? If you're a cruise person, and I'm talking about to cruise with, you can also talk about the stock if you like, but do you like Royal Caribbean better or do you like Carnival better? Royal Caribbean or Carnival? Okay, here's our meetings for this week. Last week we had Powell spoke to us on Wednesday. The market liked what he said for a little bit. Then they didn't. Let me see. Let me go back because I think Wednesday we did have a bit of red. Yeah, Wednesday was our red day because he said they were not going to adjust interest rates in March. I think people thought he was going to, or they were going to, and they didn't. So this was the day he spoke, was this big red candle here, but they dropped right down to a support area and ran right on back up higher than they had been on Monday and Tuesday. Where did you go? That's not what I meant to do. Let's go back, way back. I see some Royal Caribbean. No Carnival, folks, huh? Actually, I like Royal Caribbean better too, but I've been on several Carnival cruises and they were fine. They were good. This had a little bit, Royal Caribbean had a little bit of a leg up than the Carnival cruise lines. Listen, if somebody wants to send me on one, no matter what boat you decide, I'm gonna be like, okay, great, thank you. I'm gonna be so grateful. So if you decide you want to, my birthday's at the end of this month. If you decide you want to share some of your cruise points with me, we'll very gladly go on whichever boat you decide to share with us. All right. Okay, so this week we've got Sunday. Powell is speaking this evening at 7 o'clock. I think he's gonna be on what, 60 Minutes or something like that. I think he's gonna be on a program this evening. I think I saw that somewhere that he's gonna be on a TV show. I want to say it was 60 Minutes. It might have been something else. If somebody else knows what it is, y'all can just tell me. I think I saw it in our chat though. Somebody put it in our chat. Oh, there we go. He's gonna be on 60 Minutes. Yeah, Adrian did that. Thank you, Adrian. Yeah, he's gonna be on 60 Minutes this evening at 7 or whatever. That'll be interesting, won't it? And then tomorrow we got the red folder is the ISM services PMI. We've got some yellow folders. FOMC member Bostic is going to speak. Loan officer survey, final services PMI. That's all 9:45. Red folder at 10. All right. Tuesday, RCM tip economic optimism. And 12 o'clock, we got an orange folder. FOMC member Mester will speak 12 o'clock on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we've got the trade balance and crude oil inventories, which crude oil inventories really should be orange. They need to quit playing because people are concerned about what our oil inventories look like more so than none, right? This is like low volatility and people are a little more concerned than that. 11 and 12, we've got FOMC member Kugler. I want to say Kugler. Kugler doesn't sound right. So Kugler Barkin is going to speak at 12:30. Those are orange folders. 1 o'clock, we've got the 10-year bond auction. 2 o'clock, we got FOMC member Bowman speaking, and then consumer credit month over month is 3 o'clock. That's on Wednesday. On Thursday, we've got unemployment claims, red folder. Last week, they weren't where they wanted them to be, I don't think. And then FOMC member Barkin will speak again on Thursday. Final wholesale inventories at 10. Mortgage delinquencies, that probably needs to be an orange folder too. It says it's tentative, but depending on who you ask, there are a lot of people that are bucking on their mortgage payments and bucking on those credit card payments, and there's a lot. I think there's a lot that we're not being told that they're kind of keeping under wrap to kind of keep people from getting all nervous and anxious. But I think our situation is a little more dire than they're leading us to believe. 10:30 natural gas storage. 12:05 FOMC member Barkin is speaking again. Barkin has spoken multiple times this week. Orange folder, and then 1 o'clock 30-year bond auction, and then Friday nothing. That seems a little unbelievable that there's nothing on a Friday, because listen, Friday trading is like wrestling matches. That's wrestling matches, because you can be wrestling back and forth. I try not to be in the market on Friday, but I do seem to find myself with something that's closing on Friday afternoon that hasn't closed yet, waiting on a credit spread to close or something like that, right? SPX closed at 49.58 on Friday, 49.58. Okay, let's move on to what we have as far as earnings. I think I hear the rain. Can you stand the rain? Yeah, it's raining outside. Okay, we're looking at earnings. On Monday, we've got Caterpillar, McDonald's, on Semi, Estee Lauder, Tyson, Allegiant. Let me take myself off of here so everybody can see what there is to see. It'll block up. I'll put it back on the big screen. Otherwise, it'll be where I can't see either. Somebody products and IDEX. Monday after market closes, we've got Palantir. I keep expecting Palantir to get on out the gate, because Palantir is the data. They are holding a whole lot of our military stuff. I keep expecting them to start moving up in prices, and they don't. They move up a little bit and then they fall back down, almost like my darling SoFi. SoFi will go on up. Palantir is currently at $17. SoFi will jump, like it jumped up for earnings last week, up above $9, and folks was like, "Oop, $9, sale, sale, sale." And then SoFi, I want to say, is back in the $7 range right now. Got to figure out how to get. Yep, 788. SoFi is. Like you can't get out the gate either. Palantir, Symbiotic, Vertex, NXP, Simon, Simone. I think is that the Simon the Mall people? And that's Simon is the one I'm thinking of is a REIT. Simon is a REIT. I didn't know the REITs had earnings. Maybe this is a different Simon. Chegg, FMC, Amcor, Rambus, and Crown. Then we have Eli Lilly. I think I saw Chris Sain or somebody talking about Eli Lilly on his little short today. When I was scrolling through the YouTube shorts, he mentioned Eli Lilly. Eli Lilly is a medical pharmaceutical, so he was saying it was a good move. Spotify, Fiserv, Hertz, BP, Toyota, Spirit. I don't think that's the airlines. Amatech. I'm thinking, I don't know. Oh, Cummins at the bottom. Okay, so then we've got Snapchat Tuesday after close, Enphase, Ford, Chipotle. I keep waiting for Chipotle to split because their stock price is kind of high. Ford, Elf, Fortinet, Amgen. I'm not sure who those are. Gilead is down there. That's not Gilead from the show, by the way. Y'all remember that show? Does it still come on? With all the women that had on the red, and they would say under his eye. They would all be walking in their 2x2 under his eye. What was the name of that show? Anybody know? They would wear those hood things over, and it was bit red, drapey things. What was the name of that show? It wasn't on that long ago. Alibaba is Wednesday. Uber, CVS, Wednesday morning. Roblox. If you remember, put it in the chat. Bunge, Aries, XPO Logistics, and Hilton and Yum Brands. Now, Yum Brands, they were doing some stuff because that's who was bringing restaurants to China, was Yum Brands. And China partnered up with Yum in order to have recognizable names in China. So the KFC went over there, Burger King, McDonald's, Pizza Hut, Subway. They brought several different. Cheesecake Factory was there. They brought several different, like American Dairy Queen, American brands. So that way, when Americans would come to visit or live, we would at least have recognizable brands there as far as food went. So that's what I knew. A guy who worked for Yum Brands in China. Really good guy. Okay, so Wednesday after market close, PayPal is going to have earnings. Walt Disney, ARM, Wynn, Excelis, Paycom, Mattel, looks like that Confluent and McKesson are going to have earnings. Cool. Thursday morning, ConocoPhillips, which is oil, Spirit Airlines. Maybe this is Spirit Airlines. That over here was Spirit something else. Kaneko, Hershey's. Anybody been to Hershey, Pennsylvania? I have. I didn't know they made Twizzlers. Lightspeed, Tapestry, Handmaid's Tale. That's the show. Yep, Joanna, thank you. That's the show. Handmaid's Tale is the one where they wore those red things and the long clothes, and they would walk and say, under his eye. Under Armour, Lincoln, Dyna Trace, I think that is. Okay. Affirm is Thursday after market closes. Pinterest, Cloudflare, which is another good one, I think. Expedia, Billy.com, T2, Illumina, and PetMeds. Friday morning before the open, PepsiCo, I can't tell who this is, Enbridge, AMC Networks, Blue Owl, Planes, WF somebody. And these are very small. That's why I'm not able to see them. When I look at them on the screen that you can see them on, they're really little. Really little. Okay. I put this graphic out every weekend I put it out usually Sundays, and it's a list of the different possible trade ideas. Possible trade ideas, right? We've got cash secure puts, call credit spreads, put credit spreads. This is the thing. Now, I have all these. If you check my YouTube channel, which several of you are on YouTube right now, you can find videos where I've gone through the processes on both of these sets of strategy. Yep. But if you want to have something that's, more specific, you can always head over to Educator2Trader and see the courses that are there, the trainings that are there, and see it, step by step. I like doing YouTube videos. I can find a lot of good stuff on a YouTube video, but sometimes I just want the training that's going to walk me through step by step. And if you're like that, then go ahead over to Educator2Trader and grab it. If you're somebody who's brand new to options, maybe you're brand new to options, you're a newbie, then you may want to go in with options 411. You want to grab the options. That probably should say grab the options 411. It's a training, right? It's a training. And it's at e2toptions411.com. And this is for beginners. You're somebody who wants to learn options and you don't know about it, don't know where to start, then grab hold to this training. It's, very cost effective, because I know sometimes you're like, I want to learn something, but I don't want to go and start learning with somebody who's going to, charge me a bunch of money. I get it. So I do want, because you may decide once you learn a little bit that you're not interested. Of course, you can root around and find stuff on YouTube as well. You can root around and find YouTube stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that either. I feel like this. You're going to either pay one or two ways. You're going to pay with time or money. And sometimes you're going to pay with both, right? You're going to pay with time or money. You're going to pay with both. Now, more time, because even if you start something and you're learning a new strategy, you're going to have to spend some time learning it. But you're not necessarily going to have to spend time figuring out what to learn if you hook up with somebody who's got a training. That way you're not figuring it out that way. You're just going to be learning it. At that point, you're putting in the time to learn it from somebody who's already done it and, sharing it with you. That's the way I look at that. Let's look at some trades on here. Anybody see anything on the list that catches their eye that they want us to take a look at? I don't think I included anything this week that had earnings. I tried not to anyway, but if you see something on here that has earnings, then please let's talk about it so I can make sure we get it off the list. Get it off the list. Was I hope Royal Caribbean wasn't, because we were just talking about Royal Caribbean. Does it have earnings this week? And it just had earnings last week. So it's not there. Anything else that on here? Anybody see something that catches their fancy? Nothing catches your fancy, then I'll pick some for myself. I'm just giving it a minute to see if there's anybody who has something on here we want to look at. Okay, Cisco. I'll move us over to the chart in a second. Anything else? Didn't Cisco have earnings last week too? Oh no. Where did Cisco? Did they have earnings? I thought they had earnings last week. AMD. I like trading AMD. Cisco. DWAC. Okay, not on my list, but we'll go with it. We'll look and see. You like to do DWAC, Franco, because you asked me about DWAC before. XLK. Google. Okay. Let's start. Everyone thought that HPE was just a software company, but making a supercomputer, which is in the news. It has AI, but no one talks about it, and shares are very cheap. HPE. Well, we can look at it. I think, did you mention HPE before here, Michael? I feel like you mentioned that once before. I feel like we did that once before. Okay, let's look at Cisco. I'll start with the list. I wrote all of them down. Cisco has earnings on 2/14. Okay, hopefully we'll be in and out by then, because we look at trades for the week. But that's good. Thank you for letting me know about the earnings coming up, because we don't want to trade anything that's got earnings too quick or earnings coming up. Okay, this is Cisco. Let's look here. What do? We're checking for support. We're checking for resistance. Okay, this resistance is going to move us up to about here. And support puts us down in this area, around 50. That's where our support would be. Moving averages look like they have tried to turn back, so you want to be careful about that. We have passed the middle. This middle moving average is a 20, and this green one is a 9. We've got strength going downwards on the MACD, and we're not oversold or overbought at this point. We are at support, but let's put another support line on here, because can't necessarily go with that. We've got a downwards trend going at this point. If we were looking for our trend line, now that one, this candle up here, we could start the trend line from here and make it a lot more drastic, which probably would work, because we put our trend line here and then we hit it here. That makes it a real sharp trend line. Very sharp. Something happened back here. Wonder what happened on Cisco. Did they get impacted by somebody else's earnings? Fidelity has a number 9, which is a strong buy rating. Okay. HPE. Did I write that down? I did. I wrote it down. I'll swing back around to it, Michael Anthony. Okay. So if I was looking at Cisco, I was checking out Cisco. Where did I put it? Did I put it on the call credit spread list? I needed to have put it on the call credit spread list, because, let me see. Download so I can bring it up to the screen. I have Cisco as a put credit spread at 48.49, which would be under here. 48.49 would be under this, the bottom of the Bollinger Band. We'll put it down here. Basically, 48.49 would be down here for the week. I could also see a call credit spread. I could see that too, because it seems like it may have a little more downwards movement, but it is at a support area. Even based on back here, it's at a support area. And then another one is at 49.75. Both of those could work. I believe, I don't have it on the call credit spread list, but I could see where a call credit spread could potentially work as well, especially since it's looking like it's trying to turn around. Okay, so you may want to consider that. If we were looking for some resistance in the middle here, would probably be I would say right in here. This was support that now turned into resistance. They are interchangeable. So this was support turned into resistance. So that's at 51. So you really could possibly do a call credit spread at or above 51. Again, not trading advice. I'm not investment advice. I'm just talking about what I'm talking about. Don't want anybody coming back going, but you said. Yes, I did say, and I'm telling you what I see. But just know, this is not investment advice. You're going to do your own due diligence. Yes, along with what I've said, and then make a decision. You are the CEO of your own portfolio. Okay, 49 is actually down here. 49 is down in this window. So it's way down here. Try to put that where it is. So call credit spread at or above 51, maybe even 51 and a half. May want to come up here because the bottom of this gap, that's a 51 and some change. This big seller's gap is going to provide some resistance at the top of it, which is 52. So you might want to, but we're so far down that the premiums may not give you what you want. But let me change this. I think I like 52 better just because of the fact that it'll put us up above this, in this window of the gap, above that gap. Nope. Okay, turn this into dotted lines because I do dotted lines for the gap. Come on. There we go. You can do it. Okay. Alrighty. That's Cisco. Got that one. Let's go to AMD. Let me adjust some stuff on here. Oh, I like leaving the gaps. Then I think we looked at AMD yesterday on the call we were on. That's why that's here. AMD. We put in some possible ideas here. Put credit spread at or below 165. $165 will be the sell leg, by the way. And if you wanted calls, we talked about, I don't really coach buyers, but because we're on the Chart Your Way to 100K, I had buyers and sellers in that training, in that boot camp. So I talked about if it gets past this support, this resistance, of 178.88, that it may be able to move on up to the resistance of 181.61. But I would wait, if I was buying, I would wait for it to get through here because it shows you, this candle shows you here that it actually hit the resistance line and turned back. And that resistance was from here, from January 29th. And so it hit there and then it closed lower, which means it wasn't able to push through on this, on Friday it wasn't, but I would want to see it go through there before I would do any calls. That's just me. I don't really do buying options. So I don't really talk a whole lot about buying options, but from what I can see, I would think you would maybe want it to go. And I did a call credit spread at or above 190. Actually, probably could do your call credit spread right in this 183 area above this resistance. But we also have the Bollinger Band up here. And we know that AMD is riding out, baby. So you don't want it to get on a horse and your trade is sitting in front of the horse, right? So you'd be safer to go a little bit higher. The premiums won't be as delicious, but if you want to be in that trade, or you can just wait till it gets closer, believing that the Bollinger Band is going to slow it down and go from there. Or we've got, we got upwards mobility here. We got a green light, the green light. So you can do a put credit spread at or below 165. What I have on my paper, I have AMD 167.5, 170. That's what I have as a put credit spread going up. You've got several supports between current price and there. This buyer's gap is going to provide support. This buyer's gap is going to provide support. And then we have the support at 165. Now that's what we said. I suggested 170. So that's going to be below that. Okay. That is AMD. Let me see if there's some comments coming in. I don't want to miss any comments. AMD lowers the outlook, which the PE is very high. And then INTC saying chip demand are dragged this year. And like Tesla saying sales will be lower this year. Yeah, Tesla seem to be having some struggles. All them recalls on Tesla is not helping them at all. Let's go to DWAC. DWAC is Digital World Acquisition Corp. They seem to be chilling. Franco. They just kind of riding in the middle. Let's put some lines on here. This is the daily chart I'm looking at. They just chilling out. That's going to be resistance. Let me see. I'm also going to look at some gaps. This is a gap here. Between those two, there's a gap from what 44 some change to 49. That's a pretty big gap. But as we're coming up into it, but it's been, what's this, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. If you want to put a line down here at the bottom of this, which you could see either one of these, you could put the line. It's been in between this zone for a minute, right? So when it's trading and consolidating, you may have an opportunity to do an iron condor. An iron condor is basically where you do a call credit spread, above the zone. And we do a put credit spread below the zone. That way you take in money on both sides and you only use one set of collateral. So for example, DWAC is a $40 stock. It's probably a 50-cent spread, but even if you did $1, you could use $100 on the top spread and $100 on the bottom, but you don't use both. You just use one $100 and you collect money on both sides. Okay, they went up $27 in January. Yeah, I see they jumped a lot in January, but then after they jumped up, they've been back down chilling ever since then. Okay, you're welcome, Franco. Bill Freeman is asking, do folks put on credit spreads on stocks with prices that are, I can't see one of the things is, oh, there it is. Do folks put on credit spreads on stocks with prices that their accounts couldn't support assignment? I know they're risk defined and you close it before expiration, but is that normal? So because you're doing a spread, that's how doing credit spreads is the way that you can trade stocks that your account can't hold. As far as couldn't hold the assignment, and what helps you with that, or how that's managed. Even if you don't close it, let's say it goes all the way and it's breached, then what happens is you get exercised on the sell leg, or assigned on the exercise, whichever one happens, depending on what side you're on. But you get exercised or assigned, and then the broker, if your account can't withstand 100 shares of that stock, then the broker is going to exercise the other leg. Right. So if you have a one spread and your sell leg gets breached, or the whole thing can get breached, the broker will say, okay, we're assigning you at the 40 strike, let's say, but you were buying at the 41 strike. So then the broker will exercise the 41, and then what you'll have is basically max loss. The trade is only going to cost you $100 if you don't close it yourself. The broker will assign you at the 40, let's say, and then they'll exercise the 41, and then that one spread is what will be your cost. Okay, but yes, the spreads is the way for you to be able to trade stocks that your account probably couldn't hold. Right, that is the way we get to get in on the big boys. Okay, that was DWAC. Now we're going to XLK. Yeah, Bill says I'd worry about it closing in between the strikes at expiration if you let it expire. True, but if it closes in the middle, then you're basically going to pay what it's worth in the middle. But the wise thing to do always is if it's hovering too close to your strike and you're at 4 o'clock, which hopefully you're looking at your strikes at 4 o'clock, then you should go ahead and close it. Buy your way back out. That way you don't have to worry about the broker after hours doing anything. You've already closed it out. The broker's not going to assign you anything once the market is closed and you closed your trade. But if you leave it, that's when they'll do their thing over the weekend or whenever, and then you'll have to manage that on Monday morning, or it'll kind of manage itself, to be honest. But if you close it, you don't got to worry about that. When in doubt, close it out. There we go. When in doubt, close it out. This is XLK. XLK, the technology XL. It is still on an upwards ride. You see how the this 9-period moving average has kind of flattened off, and so is the Bollinger Bands. But XLK is technology, so I would still go long-term trend or longer term. I would say long-term. Longer term is that it's been going up, right? So even though we've had a pullback here, it's still been going up. So I would look at XLK being that put credit spread. I did 199, 198, 199, and that is based on, I think it was based on this zone over here. Sometimes if you're not sure what stuff looks like, you can turn it from candles to a line and then see where you've got some points. There's a peak or a valley. This is a valley right here. So I'm going to put a line right here in this general area, letting me know that that's something is going on there. Then I change it back to candles. Shows you right here. This is the support area now because the price has passed it. It's very close though. So this is one that you probably want to watch, but I like, yeah, that's 201. If you're looking at 199, that actually would be like the bottom of this gap. That's actually 200. So it's not even there. 199 is about in here. The bottom of this candle is 199. The bottom of this candle. What could be your support? 198, 199. If you're not too sure, go down a little bit, go down to the next one down. So maybe 197, 198, something like that. Go a little further back. Listen, you'd rather be safe than sorry. And if you can get the trade you want with a little bit less premiums, the whole point is that we want to pull in money. We're not trying to pay if we don't have to. So if you go a little bit further out, taking a little bit less money, if you want to go further out in space and then go out in extra weekend time, that's another thing too. XLK for the most part, I'm not predicting the future, but it's probably still going up. So if you go, not necessarily this Friday or next Friday, you're going to take in more premiums. So I would go with my graphic says one at 198, 199. That had a 75% probability out of the money. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about with that, then you need to check that YouTube video that I have about the probability indicator. Jamie's saying for tech, be aware that ARM, PayPal, NXPI, Affirm, Paycheck, or PayC, I'm not sure what the PayC is, maybe Paychecks, all report this week. That's going to impact SOXL and SONXLK. Okay, let me go look at YouTube. I was saying just now to look at the probability out of the money indicator. If you're Thinkorswim, if you're a Thinkorswim person, then definitely you're going to want to look at the probability out of the money video. Let me see, where are my videos? Here we go. Greater profits with this probability indicator. That's probability out of the money. Helps you with that. What percentage is the probability out of the money? And we use that prop OTM. I call it an indicator, but it's actually on the option chain. I didn't know what else to call it, so I called it an indicator. But that'll show you, if you're using Thinkorswim, how to help you pick strikes. All righty. That's that. Maybe I could grab the link. Let's see. Let's grab the link here and see if we can put it into the comments. Okay. Jamie's point is a very good one. There are a lot of tech earnings this week. So we want to be mindful. XLK is on the list. You just want to be, again, trade what you see. You don't have to enter credit spreads. If you're trading as a seller, you don't have to enter on Monday. You can enter, any day, but you can literally wait till Friday to enter it. That would mean you're going to use a 0 DTE most likely, and that may not be what you want to do. But, I'm a fan of entering credit spreads on Wednesdays and Thursdays. The theta is already kicking in. I don't have to give it 4 or 5 days to figure out if it's going to do right for the week. And I can get in on a Wednesday, see what it does on Monday and Tuesday, or get in Tuesday afternoon, something like that, and see. Oh, Adrian says TradeStation has probability out of the money too. Oh, good. I didn't know. I know that Robinhood doesn't have it, because Robinhood, you can use Delta if you're using Robinhood. All right. The next one I had listed was Google. Next one I had listed was Google. Okay, big old seller's gap right here. Big old gap. Google's been on a little downward ride. It did hit some support and go back up on Friday. So I have it on the graphic for, is it on my graphic? I don't have it on there. Google's not on the graphic this week. So what do you see? Those who are hanging out, who hang out with me a while, what do you think would be some thoughts for Google? What are some thoughts for Google? Gonna give y'all the Jeopardy minute. Da na 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 na. Da na 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 na. Da na 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 na. Boom, 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 boom. Da na na. Call credit spread and the put credit spread. All right. All right. I do see some zones in here. Definitely some more gaps are in here. Some more zones are in here. Let's change this into a dash line. This is a buyer's gap hiding inside. And there's another one. The price Google just jumped around a little bit. Buyer's gap here and here. That whole window. Iron condor. Yep. We can see that. I would go above this gap. It's huge, but I would probably try to go above it, or at least above some of these smaller ones in the middle, because you do see that the Bollinger Band is starting to curve down. But I would want to, I'm going to say, call credit spread up here. The premiums may not be delicious because that's 150 and current price is 142. That's 9. You may have to give it some time to get up into the gap before you get some decent premiums. But also know that generally when we do iron condors, we don't enter an iron condor at the same time. We don't enter the put credit spread and the call credit spread at the same time. I don't generally enter. I will enter one or the other. So in this case, if Google goes and it's going to keep going up, I probably would do the put credit spread first. Ride us a bit, because there's more of a proximity here. You're going to get better premiums because price is in closer proximity. And then as it climbs and climbs, I would probably do the call credit spread. Okay. Sonia said, I'm not showing a seller's gap on my TOS chart. I'm not using the Bollinger. Oops, never mind. Which ticker are you on? I'm on Google. I'm on GOOGL. And I do know that Google GOOG and GOOGL show a little bit different. This is a daily chart, and I'm on Google. GOOGL is the one I'm on. Does anybody know what's the difference between those two? I do see the premiums are a little bit different too. Anybody know of the big difference between these two? Sonia said that was my problem. Okay, you were looking on the GOOG. I'm going to change it real quick and see what we see. I usually do the L. This is what GOOG is. Looks very similar. It's at 143. Is that where that other one was? Google and GOOG and GOOGL has to be at the same price at least, right? Well, that's an assumption, isn't it? This chart looks the same though. Looks the same. You were somehow on G. What is that stock? What's the stock that's just called G? Oh, Genpact Limited. It's a $35 stock though. Now that we're here, let's see what we see. I see some support down here where it's getting ready to go. It's going towards some support. Cancel. This is G. And it's got some resistance up here. Probably 36.62. It's kind of in the middle. It's in the neutral zone of the Bollinger Band, so it could go either way. You could, if you really wanted to trade it, I probably would go a little further out to the bands. Never heard of them. Genpact Limited. Okay. The last one we were going to look at was HPE. I don't know if they have earnings. Google shares have voting rights and Google does not. Okay. They are different class of shares. Ooh, a different class. HPE, Hewlett Packard. You know, Hewlett Packard was like the people. Then they weren't. So it's like their shares are at $15. They are at $15. I can see why they would have a buy rating, especially with all the computer stuff we're working on right now. It is below the 200 period moving average, though. That's kind of a no bueno because that's going to operate as resistance. And to be honest, we probably have, this is support here too. It's just trying to come out of the zone. That's at 1528, but the next support is at 1495. So I would probably go with somewhere in this zone, believing it's going to keep trying to go up. Yepper. Google Class A and Google is Class C. Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay, the stuff you just saw us doing is the same kind of stuff that we're doing on the Small Account Challenge. We will chart, we will do technical analysis, we'll look at it, we're going to pick strikes, we're going to try to grow our account by 10% each week, depending on what collateral you're using, right? That's what we're doing in the Small Account Challenge for the month of February. If you haven't signed up yet and you want to sign up, you need to go ahead and grab hold and hang out with us. All right. So that way you're ready. I'm going to do the kickoff meeting at 6:30, which is about 30 more minutes. And we're going to run it for the month. Right. If you're a seller, come on, join us. If you're a buyer and you're investigating or you're interested in selling, come on. Let's see what we got going. All right. Head over to Educator2Trader.com and get yourself registered quickly. You need to get registered quickly because the emails have already gone out with the link and everything, but I want to make sure we get everybody included who wants to be included. Okay. I do agree with Ocho. An iron condor would possibly work on there. Okay. Small account challenge is what we're doing over there. Let's talk again about going left. I always bring this back up because I want you all to realize that we are leaning in on 1 to 2 strategies. We're focusing this year. Focusing, especially if you're not being profitable, jumping all around the world, you got to pick 1 or 2 strategies and let's lean in. Education that comes through when you pick that strategy, you're going to get some more education on that particular thing. You're not trying to look at everything. To be honest, we don't have time to be studying a lot of different stuff. We need to master 1 or 2 things. Our lives are very busy. People got family, they've got jobs, they've got trading. And even if all you're doing is trading, you still got a life. Hopefully. I hope your life's not only trading, right? So you got other things that you're doing. Yes, looking forward to the challenge. Good job. Is this a contest or training? I don't really do contests. Our trainings, my challenges are more like you're challenging yourself and we work together to get you what you need. So it's not like a contest. No, it's more like, it's not even really like a training. It's kind of, I guess you could put it more, it's more in the training category than it is in the contest category, because I will make sure that we will be provided the resources to learn how to do the strategy, and I'll be here to help you do it. So it's more of a training than it is a contest. All right. You want to focus on the fundamentals, which we worked on, charting, using some indicators. If you like indicators, I really try to keep mine very minimal on indicators. I do like moving averages, and now I kind of like the Bollinger Bands. And then we want to trade with a trading plan. Trade with a trading plan. I have a video on my YouTube channel about creating a trading plan, because you need to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, you just asking to throw your money out the window. And that's not what we're trying to do here. Not at all what we're trying to do here. Not trying to throw our money out of the window. E2T membership is always open. We have our morning calls. We're on every morning on YouTube, 9 or 9:30, depending on the day. We're on pre-market or at market open, talking about these things, spreads and what's going on today, well, who has earnings today, and all those good things. We have weekly training calls on Wednesday evenings. We have monthly coaching calls once a month, and we have Telegram group where we hang out together, and I'm there, other people are there, and we help each other because community is so important. We all will do better if we do it together. Okay, well, I teach risk management, how to minimize losses. Yes, that is a part of it. We'll talk about how do you make sure that you can hop out. If you need to hop out, you can. It's a little difficult for stop losses and such, but there's ways to bounce. There's ways to bounce. All righty. Do we have anything else we need to communicate about this evening? I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover. Hold, please. I need to turn off the heat because it's hot in here. It's getting hot. Okay, you're very welcome. All righty, everybody. Look for us. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Click the like, click that up button or whatever. If you want to send a super chat, we're always great for super chats where nobody's going to turn down a good super chat. If you're grateful for the information that you've seen here, we're definitely glad to have you to join us every Sunday evening, right? Like, subscribe, and you can follow me on all the social media places. I'm in all the places. Educator2Trader. If you want to talk about your specific situation, you can send me an inbox if you'd like. If it gets too deep, then we'll go another way because sometimes it can get really involved. Let me ask you all the questions. Well, we're not going to ask all the questions, but I will answer some of the questions. I will answer most of them. But after a while, I'm be like, okay, let me guide you to something that's going to help you. Okay, Sonia said, I'm getting ready to sign up for the challenge. Come on, sign up and join us. All righty. I will see you all either in the challenge if you're coming over to hang out there, or I will see you tomorrow morning on our live call. All righty. Everybody, I want you to stay green and let's get this money. All right. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.